Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but we are back with a custom track jams ranking series. Today we will be doing the Holiday Leaf Jam. This jam, it's not my favorite, I'll be honest, but I think it's still worth taking a look at, obviously. Some interesting tracks here. Yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say. Let's get right into it. Alright, and for our 9th placing track, we have Deciduous Grounds by Xantares. This track originally placed 9th. So, I mean, this one's a pretty clear last place for me. It honestly probably could have won the jam had it been finished, but as of right now, it's just an infinite respawn, so I can't really put it any higher than this. The track itself looks pretty nice, but again, we don't really get to see much of it in-game because of the infinite respawn. Yeah, there's not really much else to say here. It has the potential to be a very good track, but it's just not there yet, just considering the circumstances. Yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say here. That's going to do it for Deciduous Grounds by Xantares. Alright, and for our 8th placing track, we have International Hot Dog Day Adventure by Cardofflecore. This track originally tied for 6th with another track. So this one, it's alright. It's just kind of, it's a weird one. I like the idea. It's definitely an interesting one for sure. But it's a very short track and it doesn't function very well. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this one. It's an interesting track, I just don't think it fully, I don't think it holds up that well compared to the other tracks. I think that it placing 6th was probably, I think it was justifiable, but I personally view it as the 8th placing track. Alright, that is going to do it for International Hot Dog Day Adventure by Cardofflecore. And for our 7th placing track, we have Manor Gardens by Bugsy. This track originally... So the track itself, it's pretty good. It's obviously unfinished, but, that's understandable. The main issue with this track, however, is just it doesn't fit either of the themes. And I know that this is a test by Bugsy. They said that they made this to see how high a track could place despite not fitting either of the themes. And clearly, not very high. The track, its theme is interesting, but again, it doesn't really relate. It's unfinished. I think the track definitely has potential for the future. But in its jam state, it's just unfinished, and it doesn't relate to the jam. It's a good track, but in my opinion, not a good CT jam track, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say here. A lot of potential with this one, but it's not met yet, and it doesn't fit the themes. So that's why it's placing here at 8th place. So that's going to do it for Manor Gardens by Bugsy. Alright, and for our 6th placing track, we have Leafy Beach by Luigi Story, and this track originally placed 6th, where it tied with International Hot Dog Day Adventure. So this track, there's not really much to say here. It's kind of bland, and it's very hard to play, just in terms of being incredibly tight. It's not bad, it doesn't really fit the holiday theme at all, it fits the leaf theme well enough. Yeah, it's a track, it's not necessarily a bad track, it's just lacking in the gameplay department and visual department and the theme as well. Yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say here. Not a bad track, just one that it's hard to play and it doesn't really fit the holiday theme very well. Alright, that is going to do it for Leafy Beach by Luigi Story. Alright, and for our 5th placing track, we have The Very First Christmas, Bounce Interpolation by Justin. This track originally placed 5th. I mean, come on, it's a bounce track. This is significantly higher than I'd ever place a bounce track. The only reason this one is so high is because the other tracks just aren't fantastic. It's fun, I guess. It fits both of the themes pretty well. Yeah, it looks fine. It's fun to play, but it's a bounce track. I can't justify placing it any higher than this. It's certainly something, that's for sure. I think that it would benefit from some out of bounds, because it's kind of annoying that you can just fall and then you're basically screwed. I get that it's a part of the joke, but at the same time, you know, it would just be beneficial, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say here. That's going to do it for the very first Christmas Bounce Interpolation by Justin. Alright, and for our 4th placing track, we have Violently Shaking Trees by Rezero. This track originally placed 4th. My main gripe with this track is just how average it is. It looks alright, but not great. It plays fine, I guess, but not great. The theming, it fits the themes fine, but not great. It's just an overwhelmingly average track. There's also the out of bounds, it's hard to tell where it is. The track, it's just overwhelmingly average. It's not a bad track by any means, it's so average that I can't really justify placing it higher than 4th. It's certainly an interesting track, and it has an ultra shortcut, which I attempted but failed in this recording. Yeah, not really much else to say here. Certainly an interesting track, I just can't place it any higher than 4th. Alright, that is going to do it for Violently Shaking Trees by Rezero. For our 3rd placing track, we have Boggly Woods by me. This track originally placed 3rd. While this track does look nice, and I think it plays pretty well, it only fits the Leaf theme, really. The main reason for that is that I had just finished Xmas Mayhem at this point, and I was kind of burnt out from Christmas tracks. So I just decided, screw it, I'll make something with a Leaf theme, and ultimately I don't think it paid off. The track, it looks fine. The texture mapping is a bit weird in some spots. It's not bad by any means, and I really like the theming of it, but it's just, it doesn't fit the holiday theme at all, which is the biggest issue with the track for sure. There's also the off-road glitch, because I put that ramp collision without thinking about it, and then I just didn't feel like fixing it after. Yeah, not a bad track, just doesn't fit one of the themes. Alright, that's going to do it for Boggly Woods by me. Alright, and for our 2nd placing track, we have Solstice Tundra by Toxic Prime. This track originally won the jam. So the reason why this is behind our 1st place pick here is just because it doesn't stick out to me. If you know anything about me, I love originality in tracks. Originality is like my main thing when it comes to tracks. If the track doesn't stick out to me at all, I'm likely to place it lower than one that sticks out to me more. Simply because of that. Yeah, the track, it's probably the most polished in the jam. It has good visuals, it plays alright, it's just a bit simple and short, and I'm not a huge fan of the theming. I do think that this track has quite a bit of potential, and I think that it's definitely a good one. It's just I prefer the other one because it's more interesting to me. Alright, not much else to say here. I guess that's going to do it for Solstice Tundra by Toxic Prime. Alright, and for our winning track, we do have The Grand Oak by Carry On. This track originally didn't. I love the theming of this track. I think this track pulls off the two themes perfectly. It takes place on a Christmas tree, obviously, and the track is just really great, and I do like the theming quite a bit, and that's the main reason it's above Solstice Tundra. Beyond that, I do really like the gameplay, although it's a bit bumpy at times. Visually, it is pretty good, but maybe not the best. But overall, I do find this one very memorable, which is why I have it higher in my rankings. Just overall, a very solid track, and yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. I like the layout. It's not too simple. There's a lot of variation in the visuals, which I really like. Yeah, there's not really much else to say here. Just overall, a very solid track, and I do have it as my winner here. Alright, that is going to do it for The Grand Oak by Carry On. Alright, that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I hope to do some more of these in the future. I'm not going to have that much time with school, but I'll give it a try. Overall, I think this isn't my favorite jam, but it's got some solid tracks in there. I think that this jam is definitely worth checking out. And, you know, as I always say, if your track placed lower than you thought it should in the rankings, it's nothing against you, it's just how I felt personally about the track. And honestly, the track was probably still pretty good. Yeah, not really much else to say here. Just, you know, keep on the lookout for the next one, I guess. And thanks for watching. Alright, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.